Come here, son, nephew, young man, let me holler at you. I used to do job fairs and have guest speakers come in for students. I don't do that as much now. As a matter of fact, I used to go out of my way to find individual contacts for students to, if there was somebody in the profession that they're interested in, I get them a name, email address, 3 questions that they want answered. Make sure you're not wasting that person's time, and put them in contact with a competent professional. And as of late, a lot of the kids don't follow up when I do that. But most notably, in the past 2 years, 2 key instances have taken place that let me know, or have led me to reevaluating some situations. If you're wondering how I arrived at the conclusion when I made the video a few weeks back about people not wanting to work, because it is showing up in the students' behavior. Now, last year, 2 companies reached out to me. These folks work, they're people who work close together, or they operate close together one way or the other. One was a lady who has her own title company, and another was a regional manager at a Fortune 500 company that has branches and offices statewide. Not only did they get information on how to operate businesses, acquire real estate, and how to move up the corporate ladder and what this particular company has to offer, the guy offered the kids jobs on the spot if they were ready to start in their 18, and if not, the day they graduate, if they didn't want to work the hours that they could at night. The only kid that tried to take this guy up on his offer was already college bound, and he's looking like, wait a minute, I'm already have my scholarship money, and you telling me I can work for a Fortune 500 company, and school is already paid for, and I got my room and board paid for, and I can just pocket all the money? And I'm like, well, I don't know if you want to take on that workload, but you could work yourself out an internship, make some relationships. Anyway, I went through the whole spiel with him, but I only had one kid who was interested. So yesterday we had another representative from a Fortune 500 company. Go through the usual. Here's some tips on professionalism. Here's the different levels of employment we have to offer in our company. And he basically said, hey, if you're 18 and you want to start now and you can work evenings, I think he said like basically $18 and some change to start with. No skills. All you need is a few good references and a background check. Probably a drug screening too. That's it. And I had students who were not interested in what the guy had to say. They didn't even go to the other teacher's classroom who had this gentleman in there speaking. So for young people who might not understand, and see, I know some of my people here are 17 and 18, but most of my folks here are going to be in the 20s and early 30s. But if you run across somebody who's young and doesn't understand why they need to take time and hear what representatives have to say about companies. See, all y'all who are 19 and 20, ain't nobody just going up to you to say, hey, I got information for you. Now you're actually looking for jobs. You got an advantage when you're a kid because people are trying to put you on. People are trying to give you information. People are trying to put you in the way of opportunity because they feel a certain way about children. But once you get grown, you lose that part of life. It's kind of like when a baby goes from being all cute and wearing diapers and going goo goo gaga to that point where they're in middle school and their underarms start to stink. And now they're not cute anymore. You're a liability now. At least some of the parents, that's how they seem like they look at these kids. I don't know. So, young people, don't skip job fairs. Don't skip out on guest speakers. These are people who are older than you, wiser than you. They have information to give you. And these days, because people don't work, they probably have jobs to offer you. Look, I hear these people saying, oh, well, I ain't got to get a job. I ain't got to do this. But I sure see a rise in crime. I see a rise in scamming. I see a rise in violence. And that leads me to believe some of these folks that are telling you they ain't working or don't want to work need to be working and still need some money. Something ain't adding up. The math ain't mathing. I asked my kids the other day, how many people you know who make money on the internet? One said they know a couple of guys who get a few $100s off Instagram. The other one said the people I know who don't work are high-level scammers, or at least they have some more complex schemes than what I'm used to, rather. But I'm looking like, hey, that stuff that they're talking about leaves digital footprints. That's not going to last forever. Look, there's no shortcut and no replacement for hard work. You still need skills. You still need education. Even if you are actually going to make legit money online, that's going to require marketing skills, technical skills, maybe people and soft skills to put yourself in position to get the right deals to make these things happen. But you're not going to just show up out of the blue. Like, I know one kid, he's got like 300,000 subscribers on TikTok. No, he gets hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok, but not enough followers to where he can monetize it. I like the kid, but it takes skill to be able to capture an audience's attention and keep their attention. Clowning and playing around is only going to go so far. And even if it does, eventually your audience will still outgrow you. Then what? They might be kids now who are laughing at pranks and jokes and stuff like that, but life is going to get serious for you or for them, and somebody is either not going to be interested in the content, or if you realize it ain't going nowhere, you may not be interested in making content if it's not converting numbers like it used to. Otherwise, when I have gone into forums and people say, well, I don't have to work online. Excuse me, I don't have to get a job, I can work online. What, the IG model stuff, how long is that going to last? What, you going to go to Dubai? You're going to perform services in Dubai, you're going to get flued out? Like, hey, look, reality is still reality, man. There's one student in particular who told me, hey, I'm not interested in what this particular company has to say, which has a local warehouse. 9 times out of 10, if you see somebody with that uniform on, they're working at the warehouse or driving a truck, which, again, $18 an hour starting out, you'll be at 20, 21, 22 before you know it. 18 years old, that ain't bad. And then they give it unlimited overtime, as far as the law take it, because they can't find workers. So you do the math, 40 hours of, you can do the math, 40 hours at $18 and some change an hour, then 20 hours at time and a half, and then however many double time hours you can get up to close to $2,000 if you put in an 80-hour work week, if you want to do it. And if you're a young man out of high school and don't plan on going to college, why not? If you need to pay for college, why not? Which brings me back to that young man, because he has some decent grades, but he ain't finna get nobody's scholarship right now. Why? ACT score ain't there. So as of right now, this young man is going to have to pay for college. Well, these large corporations, they have what's called tuition reimbursement. So if you're in college and and you register for tuition reimbursement, you make an A or B on the course, you submit your fee bill to show that you paid for the course, then you submit your A or B in the course, and they reimburse you the money. So they'll put you through college without a scholarship. Then you've landed on a Fortune 500 company's radar of people within their company who are in college. You right there in line for an internship. You got your references. You're getting experience. You know the landscape. You're learning the company. You're learning how things work. So by you saying I'm not interested in hearing information, you've taken all that and just passed it on to the next man. And for what? So I said all that to say this, just to make sure I close and give a direct point. People, young people looking for opportunities. The younger you start looking, the better. Because people are looking at you like, let me give this person a chance. Like I made, the point I made in a few videos ago, get information. I was speaking in that context on getting on the internet and getting information and not just wasting time on the internet. But when you have time or you have the opportunity, because people don't realize, free information about jobs and careers coming from somebody who's a representative at a company, that is an opportunity. That person's looking at you like you're young and innocent, and I'm going to take the time out to tell you everything because you're young and you don't know. Whereas if my grown tail goes talking to this person, hey man, I got stuff to do, so you're going to need to get to the point because you grown. You can go on the website. You should know this by now. You graduated. The world gets cold, hard, and unforgiving if you hadn't done what you're supposed to by a certain age. Don't let that window of time close and you hadn't taken all that free information that you could have taken advantage of and gotten on those pathways and pipelines to success. Pass this on to anybody you know who's about, I would say, a junior or senior in high school and seems like they might have that type of attitude towards getting all this free information out there. And as always, never lose the will to win, never lose the will to survive. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, pass the information on, because I promise you, I meet children and young men every day who need this information every single day. So I know it's useful because I see the need for it, and I also get to see how it affects people when they don't take the information or when they come back and say thank you because they did.